So people often ask me, what is a coach? And usually in my answer, I wind up taking a much more long-winded and unnecessary path, trying to draw analogies to other professions or other activities that people might be engaged in to try and define what a coach is and what I do for a living. And very often I fail. I do not succeed in that. And I leave the person wondering still, well, what is a coach and what is it that I do for a living? That being said, about a month ago, I wandered into a store looking for a gift for my wife 2 days before her birthday. And in that whole experience, I determined that a coach in many ways is like a good salesperson. Because a good salesperson is going to try to guide you towards what you want. And in fact, in some cases, try to discover what it is you want when you don't know what it is you're looking for. And that's exactly what this person did. I walked into the store, I had a couple minutes, and she asked the first question, which is, of course, can I help you? And my answer, of course, is, well, I hope so. And, what are you looking for? And I say, well, I don't know exactly, but my wife's birthday is in 2 days and I need something. And she didn't just point here or there. She didn't just have me wander around the store and, let me know if you need any help. No, she started asking a series of questions to help extract what it is my wife might enjoy. Questions that I should have been asking myself, or maybe I should have known at this point, 11 years into marriage. But long story short, we landed on something that worked out perfectly. It was something I probably wouldn't have chose myself. And had I wandered through the store, I probably would have just picked some random thing that would have been met with much appreciated, but, at least internally, probably a mediocre reaction from my wife. But instead, we found something that actually matched her. And it's because the salesperson asked the right questions. At some point, she asked, well, does your wife like candles? And of course, my initial reaction is, well, I don't care if she likes candles. I kind of hate candles, but yeah, she likes them. Well, what kind of scents does she like? Well, I know what she doesn't like. I know what I don't like. Oh, but she happened to like this one other one sometime. And again, long story short, we landed on something that was pretty cool, pretty unique, and made sense, but all because the salesperson asked the right questions. And in many ways, that's what a coach does. My job is to ask the right questions. And the better questions I asked, because of the familiarity with the person's situation, if you will, whether it's an industry or whether it's someone working in a store that is very particular and has some specific items, whatever the case might be, asking the right questions can get somebody an answer very quickly and get them what they need. And that's what happened in that instance. In fact, she said later on, I kind of pride myself on helping husbands and boyfriends, get in and out in 10 minutes and walk out with something that they need. And again, it clicked at that moment. I said, well, yeah, you did that. But again, and I told her point blank, I said, well, you did it because you asked the right questions. And beyond that, through conversation, I wound up learning that she happened to be a food critic as well, a local Pittsburgh food critic working in this store that has very little to do with food. And so in addition to finding the perfect gift, I also got tons of insights on the best place to bring my wife to dinner or lunch or brunch. We covered all meals in this conversation. And so again, I walked out of there with knowledge, with more than I could have imagined. I still, stayed within a reasonable budget. And again, I had this insight to say, look, this is what I want to be as a coach. I don't want to just sell stuff to people, but I want to first help them discover what they need. If I can't help them out, I want to point them in the right direction. And if I can help them out, I want to prevent them from wandering around the store aimlessly, wasting their time, getting frustrated, and then leaving with some sort of, mediocre outcome, if you will. And so I share this today, not just because it happened to be asked earlier today to define what a coach is, but also because of two individuals in J.P. Warren and Stephen Forrester, who recently pointed out some gifts that I delivered to them. And of course, my hope with those types of things is that it winds up being more anonymous. But since it's out there publicly, I thought it was a good excuse to share that, gift giving should be personalized, right? Gift giving should stem from some bigger picture of what that person wants. But sometimes you don't know what that person wants. Sometimes you need to ask the right questions or have someone ask you the right questions. And whether you're the leader of a company, whether you're a husband, a father, whatever the case might be, you need to ask the right questions sometimes to figure out what the person wants. And sometimes the answers to those questions are already out there, and you just need to maybe sort through the mess of information to figure it out. And sure, sometimes you can lean on an app or you can lean on reviews on Amazon to whittle things down and pick the right gift. But at the end of the day, your time is precious. Your energy is precious. And you could spend a whole lot of time sorting through reviews, sorting through, all kinds of different recommendations, going from store A to store B to store C, when if you find the right salesperson to help guide you along, you might wind up saving money. You certainly will probably, maybe somewhere in the middle, save some sort of time and save energy and save angst and anxiety. And at the end of the day, yield a better result. So with all that being said, hopefully I've accomplished what I am usually good at, which is a much longer and unnecessarily wordy explanation for what a coach is. But if you happen to be in a position where you're looking for a birthday gift, consider stepping away from Amazon, consider going to a store, consider, finding someone who can ask you questions. Don't go in and tell them what exactly you're looking for, because there's a very good chance you don't know what you're looking for. And if you do that over and over and over again, if you continue to assume you know what you're looking for, when in reality you're just wandering around the store like a typical husband who just needs to get something because his wife's birthday is coming up in a couple days, stop. Take a break. Let other people extract from you what you might actually know about your spouse. Let other people extract from you what you know might actually make them happy. Instead of just assuming that you're going to be able to pluck the right answer from the overwhelming number of options that are out there. So, with all that being said, ask yourself today how you can help someone else answer those types of questions. Ask yourself, how can you put yourself into the position of a salesperson or a coach and help someone discover what it is they're looking for, and then help guide them in some sort of direction that they might not have gone down before? You don't need to be a formal coach to do this. You don't need to be a formal salesperson, although I think it might be a little bit odd if you just happen to walk into a store today and pretend to be a salesperson and help guide somebody towards a purchase, and then they happen to find out that you don't actually work there. But whatever the case is, ask yourself, how could you better help guide someone towards what they're looking for, especially when they don't know what they're looking for, and especially when maybe they're in a bit of a time crunch and only have a couple minutes to make a decision and make a purchase. So again, thanks for listening to my attempt at defining coaching today. And certainly if you have any other insights or alternate definitions of what a coach is or what a good salesperson is, I'd be happy to welcome your feedback. So thanks again.